of International Relations and Cooperation says it will approach the U.S. Embassy to ask for an explanation on a recent statement by President Donald Trump. Well, Trump has been accused of making derogatory comments about countries in Africa and the Caribbean islands nation of Haiti. DIRCO says it will summon embassy officials on Monday to explain Trump's comments. Trump allegedly made his controversial statement when he met U.S. legislators last week to discuss a bill on immigration. Trump has since denied the accusation, and DIRCO says relations between South Africa and the United States and between the rest of Africa and the United States must be based on mutual respect and understanding. Now, joining us from our Pretoria studios is a DIRCO spokesperson, Mr. Nelson Gwete. A very good evening to you, Mr. Gwete. Thank you so much for joining us. Explain to us, first of all, the purpose of meeting the U.S. Embassy officials in Pretoria tomorrow.
The meeting follows the unfortunate and very crude statements that have been attributed to President Trump that they were reported in the media. We have decided as the government that the best way to respond to the matter is to use available diplomatic channels and call in the charges d'affaires, who is the second in command at the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria, to the head office of the department in Pretoria to formally explain the statements that have been attributed to President Trump, so that we have a firm understanding of what exactly it is that was said about African people in that meeting in Washington last week.
Take us back to what South Africa's interpretation of the statement is.
Our interpretation of the statement, if it is proven to be true, is that it is a very insulting and crude statement to make about the African people that are seeking residence and who are visiting the United States and those who are working there. And we believe that the relationship between the United States of America and the African continent at large, and between the U.S. and South Africa in particular, is one that must be based on mutual respect and understanding. And that is why we believe that it is important to give the United States government, through the embassy in Pretoria, an opportunity to clarify what exactly it is that the U.S. government thinks about African people, and also what it is that the American people needs to do or plans to do about Africans who are seeking residence in the United States of America. We don't think that there is any ground for discrimination, and we don't think there's any room for such kind of remarks that have been attributed to the president. But because we are diplomats, we believe that it is important to provide an opportunity to the embassy to explain to us officially, so that we can make up our minds and communicate more firmly on the issue that has been reported in the media.
Now, President Trump has since denied uttering such derogatory remarks, and you have conceded that the department notes such denial, but then you said that Trump's denial is not categorical. What do you mean by this?
The denial is not categorical in the sense that it is partial. It only refers to the remark on the Republic of Haiti. But the remarks that have been attributed to President Trump are much broader than the negative comments about Haiti. It is a statement that refers to other parts of the world, including El Salvador, as well as the entire African continent. So the denial on Friday that was sent on through a tweet refers only to the statements about Haiti, and we see that the President Trump denies making any negative comments about Haiti. But the other parts of the allegations of what he said are not being denied. That's why we believe it's important for the U.S. government to explain to us in full what it is that the U.S. government believes was said in that meeting, and what do they think of African people and African governments in general.
How is this likely negatively affect the relations between South Africa and the United States, and Africa as a continent and the United States?
Well, the purpose of us taking this diplomatic route is so that we can preserve the relations that exist between the United States government and South Africa at the moment. We are on a good footing diplomatically and in terms of trade relations with the United States. So we believe that such good relations cannot be spoiled by comments that are making the rounds on through the media. And we believe that if there's any misunderstanding between the two governments and between the US government and the entire African continent, such misunderstanding must be addressed through dialogue, through diplomacy. And we believe that we will find a way in which we can resolve this misunderstanding through a way that reaffirms the integrity of the African people. That's what we are going to seek tomorrow, to ensure that there is no taking for granted the role of Africans that are moving to the United States, who are making a contribution to the US culture, to the US economy, and also in various US academic institutions. Africans there playing a very important role in the development of American intellectual culture, as well as other fields of the life of the US economy and the US cultural phenomenon. Africans play a very important role in the US, and we don't think there's any reason to denigrate their arrival in the US as people who are seeking economic opportunities. Migration is a reality, and it's happening across all the parts of the world, including migration from the US into other parts of the world. So we need to understand it as part of humanity's nature, to want to seek greater opportunities, greener pastures. So we don't think there's any basis upon which negative comments and crude comments, for that matter, can be made about African people.
All right, Mr. Gweta, thank you so much for update. That was DIRCO spokesperson Nelson Gweta joining us live from our Pretoria studios.